What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be working on the interior of the BMW 330. Now the interior already looks great in my opinion. It has the red leather seats on the black, I think looks amazing. But we're going to be doing a couple small mods to it to make it that much better. So with that, let's get into it. So before I actually jump into it, you guys can probably tell the other day we literally had freezing rain in New York. If you guys can tell, this side of the car is still covered with ice. It is insane. The reason why the other side isn't covered is because it was facing the sun, so it did help it melt a little bit. But there's literally like ice cubes all over it. Like, this is absolutely insane, guys. It's not as bad as it was before, or yesterday more specifically, but yeah, it's still pretty bad. That's why we're gonna be focusing on the interior of the car today. So although I do have some exterior mods for this car and even some performance mods for this car, because of the freezing weather, the freezing rain, and even just like the insane winds, like if you guys couldn't tell already by my nose and my hands, it is absolutely freezing in New York right now. It's making it a little difficult to film outside, but we will get to those mods, I promise. But we will be able to work on the interior at least. That should be easy, and then we'll get to those other mods later on. The weather is starting to warm up, so that's a good sign. But for now, let's get into this stuff. All right, so let's get started. So we're actually going to be doing two small things to the interior for now. Now I will be doing a lot more. One actually large mod that we're going to be doing to the interior has to do with what you can see now. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but it's something big that I'm super excited about. But for now, we're going to be starting off with some smaller mods, and we're going to work our way up. And what those mods are a start button, which is essential in my opinion, and then also some sport pedals, because these ones don't exactly look too great. So like I said, guys, these are small mods, nothing crazy. They're also pretty cheap, so if you guys want any of this stuff, I will leave it linked down in the description below. I got them off Amazon. I do these mods to most of the cars that I get, the 435, the X3. They're just super easy to do, super cheap, and honestly, I think they're just great starter mods if you're getting into this type of stuff. All right, so we're gonna start off with the easier one, because honestly, they're both super easy, and that is the start button. So now the one I'm gonna be installing is actually this crystal start button here. Now, if you guys watch my videos, you'll recognize that this one I put into the 435, and this is actually the same exact one. So I did pull out the one from the 435, I put the red start button back into that car, and then I'm gonna be putting this one into this car, of course. So the reason I'm doing that is because the way I envision it is the 435 is gonna be more of like a sporty, more like aggressive looking car. This one's going to be more of like my daily driver. I kind of want it to be a little more luxurious and, you know, classy looking. So I think this crystal start button looks amazing. It looks super classy and sophisticated in my opinion. I know some people weren't happy with the fact that I put in the 435 and I took off the red start button. In this case, I do agree with you guys. I think the red start button looks better in that car, and then the crystal start button I think is going to look better in this car. So kind of leveraging parts from both cars. It's kind of nice that they're both from the F generation, but you know, I will ultimately make them look different. Like I said, this car I'm going for more classy, sophisticated daily driver. The 435, I want it to look a little more aggressive and sporty, and it doesn't have to be as practical as like this car. So with that said, we're gonna get into it. So this isn't gonna be a detailed video on how to do it. I actually made one very recently, so if you guys want that video, I'll leave it linked somewhere above over here, so definitely go check that out. But I'm just gonna show you guys like the before and after, and kind of just take you guys along with me for the ride in modifying this car. So with that said, let's get into it. Let's swap out this start button. So that was super easy, as you guys can see. So we did get the start button off. I will be honest with you guys, I was a little worried, since it's so freaking cold, that the putty that I used to basically stick onto this thing and pull it off was going to be a little more stiff and wasn't going to work as well, because although I had it inside, when I was kind of like, you know, trying to make it into a ball, I could tell that I was getting a little more stiff, just even from the cold over here. So thankfully though, it did work just fine. Yeah, now that we have the button off, as you guys can tell over here, again, we are now going to stick on the new start button. And just so you guys can get an idea of the difference between the two, obviously just right off the bat, the crystal one looks so much better. Also, something to note, guys, if you didn't watch my last video, these crystals over here will actually light up once it's dark. So on the start button, you obviously have like these words that light up. This one, the words will light up as well, but then the things around it will also light up, so it looks really cool at night as well. I'll also throw up a clip of that so you guys can see it once I install it. But yeah, definitely a huge improvement, and super cheap. Again, maybe only about like 20 bucks or so for the crystal start button. The normal flat colors are a lot cheaper. They're only about like 10. So if you guys want either of those, I will leave them linked down in the description below. But for now though, let's install mine. All right, so now to install this thing, of course, it's super easy. If you guys seen my other video, you literally just place it in, make sure it's straight, and it should click in. Just like that, you guys can tell it works. But this is actually what I was talking about, guys, how it lights up. You can actually see it still in the daylight as well. it just looks pretty cool. It looks even cooler at night. And again, guys, I will throw up a clip of what that looks like. All right, so that's the first mod down. Again, super easy, but I think makes a huge difference. It's also really cool at night, especially. But anyways, guys, we're gonna move on to the next one. Again, something pretty easy and simple, but this one's gonna be a little more involved to do, and that's because I have to do some cleaning in advance. So the next thing I'm gonna do is install some sport pedals. And the reason why I need to do some cleaning, guys, is if you can tell, this thing is absolutely filthy. Obviously now it's been snowing, it's been raining. It's just super tough to keep anything clean in New York right now. So I'm not even gonna bother cleaning the floor mat because honestly, right after this video, it's just gonna get right back to this state. So what I'm gonna do instead is just clean off the pedals themselves, because that I think is very important, and then we're gonna install the new one. So you guys probably saw in some earlier clips, I have some microfiber cloths, a brush, and some just generic cleaner from Chemical Guys, which I'm gonna use to clean the pedals. So yeah, I'm gonna spray the pedals down. I'll also spray the brush, get cleaning over here, and then wipe it off with a microfiber cloth, which should be pretty easy. What I think I'm gonna do is actually just take out this floor mat just so it doesn't look so funky. But yeah, let me get started on that. How well you're able to see any of that. I was probably just blocking the camera, but as you guys can tell, it definitely looks way better. Definitely not perfect, but still a huge improvement. So if you guys are wondering, the reason why I didn't clean this thing off is because what we're going to be doing is actually just completely replacing this pedal. So I already took the old one off, so this thing should be clean enough. I'm just going to put the new one over that, but for this pedal here, it's just gonna go right over the original one. So I wanted to make sure no dirt is left on the original one. And then the dead pedal over here, it's gonna stick on. So I'll talk more about that in a little bit. So again, here's the original brake pedal. Again, this thing's getting completely replaced. So all the dirt's on this thing. So I didn't bother cleaning that piece because it should theoretically already be cleaned. Now, I'm definitely not a professional detailer, and I know I got a whole bunch of stuff all over the carpet and stuff, but I'm not worried about that because the cleaner that I use is pH balanced. So it's this stuff over here, which honestly, if it gets anywhere or stuck between any places, anything like that, I'm not too worried about it. It's not gonna corrode or basically, you know, like mess up the carpet. But yeah, now that that part's clean, let me show you guys the new pedals. All right, and here are the new pedals. So this one, again, is the dead pedal. Like I was mentioning before, guys, this has a whole bunch of 3M tape on the back of it. So this is literally just gonna stick on to that one. So that one's the most critical to be clean. Next, we have the gas pedal as well as the brake pedal. So here's the gas pedal. This one's literally just gonna sit on top of the current one. We literally just place it on, probably the easiest one to do. And then this one is the brake pedal. Now, like I was saying before, this one's gonna completely replace the current one. So this one kind of like wraps onto that metal piece that I showed you guys down there. So this one's gonna be a little tough to get on because you have to basically like move this plastic and rubber, whatever it is, and get it to wrap around the metal piece, but it's still not too bad regardless. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys notice, there's like some protector on it, just on the gas pedal and the brake pedal, so we're gonna have to take that off. Now, to do that, because it kind of goes underneath these little screws, we're gonna have to take the screws off so we can properly take this thing off. Don't worry though, that is super easy to do. All you need is actually just an Allen key, small one like this, which I actually include in the packaging, so you kind of have everything that you need. So again, if you guys buy the one down in the link below, the same one that I bought, you will have everything that you need. But I'm actually going to do that off camera. I'll take off all this stuff and then we'll get to installing it. All right, so that was kind of annoying, but I did get all that plastic off. Again, it did help removing those screws first, guys, but I think because it was so cold, it's sort of like vinyl wrap almost that was protecting this thing. So since it was so cold, I think it was a little harder to take off. But regardless, though, we got it off. As you guys can see, these are all the pieces together, and now we can actually start installing. Alright guys, and just like that, it is on. Now we have the sport pedals as well as the crystal start button over there. So for anybody wondering why I didn't heat up the adhesive on the dead pedal before putting it on, it's because honestly, usually I would do that for something I put on the exterior of the car, which has like a chance of flying off. But this is just a dead pedal. It's not even like it's going to be going the other way. Like if anything, the whole time I have my foot on it, I'm just pushing it even more in. It's not like a spoiler or a front lip that has like the wind and the downforce, basically just like trying to pull it off. It's something in the interior, so I personally think it'll be fine. But if you guys want to heat it up when you're installing yours, definitely feel free to. It can only help. But anyways, that's pretty much it. So I installed the start button, installed the sport pedals. Again, super simple, easy mods to do. Just makes the interior feel a little more, you know, luxurious and premium in my opinion. And I think it makes a huge difference. So especially considering the price, both of these together were only about like 40 bucks. Again, if you guys want any of these, I will leave them linked down in the description below so you can get some. Like I was saying before, I have some large mods coming for the interior, so definitely stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop me a comment if you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, a lot more to come for this car. But anyways, this video is pretty much done, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.